Alright, y'all seen the two methods for internal lashing. Again, internal lashing including the backboard, internal lashing without a backboard. Now, it doesn't matter which internal you use, your external is always going to be the same. Alright, so again, we're going to find another 30-foot piece of webbing. It could be green, it could be gray. We're going to find our center mark. On this particular one, they've already got a knot tied there. Alright, so working in one on one side, one on the other as we've been doing. You're going to go down, and depending on what type of injuries you run into, if they've got a lower leg injury, you may need to come up so you're not in the way of that splint or that brace. We're going to say there's really no injuries, so we're going to come to our first pinhole. We're going to pull it all the way so the knot is right in the center as such. From this point on, we're only going to wrap around the pins, and they're going to be the big pins, okay? So we're just going to take it and we're going to crisscross it all the way up. Again, be aware of what you are doing with the end of your webbing. You don't want to toss it, flap it, hit somebody in the face. As we go up with our external, we also want to make sure that we include their extremities inside this external lashing. We don't want anything hanging out. We don't want them to be able to grab as we're lowering down or picking them up, a hold to the wall or a hold to anything. It could actually hurt us or hurt them. When we get to this last pin, somewhere around chest level, one of us will tie off. I'll let Mevin go ahead and tie his side. Again, we're going to tie around the actual pin. He's going to do 2 wraps. Once he wraps it completely around twice, then we'll put two overhands. Again, 2 overhands equal a clove. Once he hits that second wrap, he's got plenty of tension, so I can come down now and start tensioning everything so I can take out all the slack out of this. You don't want any slack in this, because the more slack that's in it, the more the patient is going to move. Come right here, you're going to do 2 wraps again. I like to split my wraps. Do a wrap underneath, a wrap on top. And if it's a large patient where they're really wide, then you're just going to have to manipulate as much as you can. Then you're going to finish off with 2 half hitches. Be aware not to pinch anything. If they're conscious, I'm sure they'll tell you. 2 half hitches, any extra will go in the basket. Now this patient is set up for either a vertical or horizontal raise. We have our internal lashing and we have our external lashing. We could actually pick him up, stand him up, and flip him over, and he's not going to move, or the movement's going to be very, very small.